Hi, everybody. Mike Vardy here. I want to thank everybody who is providing me with feedback on the latest issue of the Productivityist Weekly Newsletter. This short video is just going to kind of illustrate a little bit about what you can expect over the next few weeks in that newsletter and maybe beyond too. But first off, I wanted to kind of say this has been the most feedback I've ever received from one newsletter ever. And it's great. I mean, I'm getting very positive stuff, totally understand where you're coming from. All that stuff, and I'm also getting the you know what, maybe you're doing it wrong, and to provide context for those of you who aren't subscribing, the newsletter is the first in a series of newsletters where I explain why I'm leaving GTD behind. So David Allen's well-known getting things done methodology. I haven't been using it in its purest sense for a while, and in this series of newsletters, I'm going to describe why I'm no longer using it, like the big three reasons that have kind of shifted me into a different direction. Now, some of the feedback I've been getting is, well, maybe it's because you've switched the apps. You've gone from OmniFocus to Todoist to Asana to Todoist to all. I've always been a big believer in the approach is more important than the app. And I know some people have said OmniFocus is a GTD app. It does have the ability to do GTD, but there are lots of other things and lots of other approaches you can take with OmniFocus. It doesn't have to be getting things done. It could be several different other types. You could use the Covey method with urgent and important for perspectives and things like that. So again, the apps and the tools are only part of the equation. It's what you bring to the table and what approaches you take, I think, that has a lot more to do with it. And I've found that, there are some aspects of GTD, that just aren't working for me anymore. And probably haven't for a while, but during my kind of analysis and exploration, I've realized these are the three biggest parts that have caused me to make a switch. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not doing any kind of system. I mean, we've seen lots of other systems out there. We've seen Leo Babauta wrote Zen to Done. We've got, Scrum, Agile. There's lots of different ways to do things. So what I'm going to talk about, obviously, is why GTD isn't working for me anymore and why I've left it behind, and maybe what I'm using now. In fact, not maybe, I will explain what I'm using once I'm done explaining why GTD isn't working for me anymore. So if you are subscribed to the newsletter, great. You're going to get the remainder of the series over the course of the next couple of weeks. And I'd love to hear more feedback from you. So you can email me directly through the link in the newsletter. If you are not getting the newsletter, just go to bit.ly/productivityistweekly and you can subscribe to the newsletter. I will be socially sharing the newsletters within a reasonable time frame after they are released to the newsletter audience. It's just, I believe people should get the newsletter first. And you're going to see some of the stuff creep into my writing as well. That's on the blog. So again, I just wanted to illustrate and kind of take some time to put that out there. I didn't want anyone to be misunderstanding me and saying, hey, you know what, he's abandoning productivity altogether, but not in the slightest. If anything, I'm taking things to the next level. But I just wanted to clear the air a little bit and make sure that, people understood that I'm not anti-GTD by any stretch of the imagination. Whatever is going to work is going to work. And aspects of different systems can work for different people, or entire systems, such as getting things done or whatever, can work for certain people. But for me, it's time to move on, time to go into something different, something that I believe works better. So that's what I'm going to do. So I hope you'll join me with those newsletters over the course of the next few weeks. These are going to lead into, the middle of May. And of course, I did release a video teaser yesterday about my workshop, the live streaming workshop that I'm going to be doing right here from Victoria, British Columbia on May 26th. I'll have more details on that in the coming weeks. In the meantime, thanks so much for joining me here and joining me on the Productivityist podcast and subscribing to the newsletter and sticking with me. Hopefully I'm helping you out. That's my goal. And we will see you later on. Thanks again, and keep moving things forward.